Direct selling has a variety of socio-economic benefits, from promoting entrepreneurship, addressing unemployment, to empowering women. It facilitates companies to sell their products that are loved by many. Some of these direct selling companies have made a powerful mark on the global map, attracting a huge fan following globally. Based on the 2017 statistics, the direct selling industry grew by 1.6%, pegging it at $189 billion globally. Over time, as new players keep joining the market, the key to growth in the direct selling space lies with existing key players. One such company in the direct selling space is Qnet.
Qnet is a 20-year-old direct selling company. We actually were the pioneers when it came to marrying direct selling and e-commerce back in 1998. We started with one product back then, and we've evolved into a company that's having over 100 products worldwide, 100 countries worldwide. We have over 1,500 employees, globally speaking, so it's been quite a ride for us in the last 20 years. We have about 30 offices, globally speaking, but because we're e-commerce, obviously that's opened up the borders to us having distributors in over 100 countries, us shipping many products to over 100 countries worldwide.
Established in 1998, Qnet, a flagship subsidiary of the QI group of companies, is one of Asia's leading direct selling companies with more than 6 million distributors globally, with product sales in over 100 countries. Qnet, a multinational direct selling business, has a product portfolio ranging across categories: health and wellness, beauty and personal care, watches and jewelry, education, holidays and travel, technology and motor care. Qnet is also active in sports sponsorships around the world with prominent partnerships, including being the direct selling partner of Manchester City Football Club and the African Club League Championships of CAF.
We're very big in home care, in the water filtration category and air purification category. Very big in holiday and travel. Very big in Swiss watches. We have our own Swiss watch manufacturer in Switzerland. And we have now gone into the categories of nutrition and personal care.
Powered by e-commerce, Qnet's business model has helped empower millions of entrepreneurs in more than 100 countries worldwide by providing borderless opportunity to customers and interested distributors around the world. Qnet's grassroots business model enables ordinary people from all walks of life to start their own business with minimal overhead. India, a land of over 1 billion dreams, where individuals look at opportunities at every nook and corner. A place to seize the day with changing reforms and economic trends, allowing new businesses to grow substantially. A hub for direct selling to prosper significantly. Based on market reports, India's direct selling industry grew radically by 7% year-on-year and was pegged at 9,854 crore rupees in 2017, with a hold on over 51 lakh distributors. However, while reports showed significant growth in the space, Qnet was put in the spotlight for a streak of negativity when its India operations started to grow.
We've been operating in India for about a decade now, and of course it has been a very complex market to enter. And a lot of the challenges that we've faced actually in the last decade is more about the lack of legislation of the direct selling industry itself. Well, it's true that we've had, a recent streak of bad reputation in the media in India. And I believe if I look back probably around 5 years ago, when business was starting to grow, we were encountering a lot of challenges in terms of, consumer complaints that we had to handle aggressively, if you will. We had to really go to the root cause of these complaints and understand, is it a consumer complaint about a specific product, or is it a consumer complaint about how the business is being represented? Is it because the industry itself is not exactly well known or well understood? So I think there was a lot of misunderstandings at the very beginning, and looking back, I realized there's a lot of learnings as well in terms of what we should have done much better in terms of self-regulation, in terms of working with the authorities much sooner, in terms of working with the government organizations.
Meanwhile, the company says that a lack of regulatory framework for the direct selling industry is one of the main causes behind its challenges.
Direct selling ought to be seen for what it is, which is a fairly new element of entrepreneurial business. And if that was something which, like other countries, was taken in the perspective of having a proper framework, a proper understanding of rules, a proper legal infrastructure, it would assist a lot more.
One of the challenges for growth in India has been the lack of clear regulation. As things stand now, the only law that directly guides the industry is the Chit Fund Act, which looks at multi-level marketing and direct selling as a quasi-Ponzi scheme. The government has decided that that's not the situation that they would like to have, and they'd like this industry to grow.
While Qnet was bombarded with allegations from all the sides, a ray of hope was seen when the Supreme Court of India ordered a stay on all proceedings in the matter of Qnet and its Indian franchisee Vihan Direct Selling Private Limited.
Supreme Court of India has issued a stay order, and it has prevented any further investigation. The fact that the Supreme Court has come out with this stay order, I think, is a very strong validation. Secondly, in the context of Karnataka, the Karnataka High Court as well has come out with a very strong judgment that our business in no way is an infringement or infraction of the Price Chits and Money Circulation Act and ought to be relating only to consumer-related aspects.
As Qnet still navigates through troubled Indian waters, it becomes necessary for the organization to still continue its operations, keeping the consumer at heart.
At the end of the day, a consumer is a consumer. When they buy a product or they buy a service, they try it out. Now, they will see the effects, whether it's a protein product or a nutritional product or a skincare product or even a holiday package. They try it out, they become a consumer, they experience the actual product. Now, based on that, they can decide, is this a worthwhile product to actually consume on a regular basis? Okay, when they see that, for example, when the products are being sold and commissions are being paid on the sales of those products, they realize, okay, this is actually a very valid business opportunity. And again, it's all about that belief factor. Now, reputation affects the belief factor. But once people get across that and they actually see that the products benefit me and the business opportunity is there, the belief starts to happen.
While fulfilling consumer needs is Qnet's primary objective, it is the distributors who have to carry out the practice of directly selling. While Qnet's distributor community has worked to achieve their success, the company claims that a few have dubiously been promoting its direct selling business as an investment scheme or a get-rich-quick scheme.
When you have an area of economic activity without clear regulation, you're going to get two types of people involved. You're going to get the bold and the bad. And consumers lacked clear guidelines to determine who is who. Now, it's really been very challenging for consumers to figure out what is a good company to work with, who is someone who is more fly-by-night. It's essential to have guidelines, it's essential to have legislation that makes clear what is permissible activity and what is impermissible activity. And in the interim, we have a lot of people who are doing whatever they please.
It's all about the distributor. Okay, and how we empower the distributor and how we actually help govern the distributor through code of conduct, policy and procedure, how they represent the company, because we believe that our brand is actually being represented by the everyday man and woman on the street. We value our distributors, and I'm not saying that every single distributor is unscrupulous. I'm not saying every single distributor is unethical, but the small pockets. So I think once a small pocket occurs and we address it, that news still has a ripple effect. And even though we have addressed it, that ripple effect will go out as, you know, as totally negative. Our distributors in India have had a very difficult time because of that reputation online. But it's that belief factor in the sense that we would never walk away. Qnet would never walk away from, any sort of challenging situation. And I believe our Indian distributors have been probably one of the most loyal and dedicated because of all of this happening around them. They still stay true to their belief in the company and their belief in the fact that we will always be there to deliver products, the fact that we always be there to pay the commissions on the sales of those products on a weekly basis.
Welcome back to the untold story of Qnet. Earlier we featured an insider's perspective on Qnet's rise to fame and its subsequent fall in its India operations due to ongoing allegations. While the journey has been rough, the company acknowledges that the last few years have been a tremendous learning experience.
We are, of course, increasing the number of staff in our network compliance department. Okay, we're actually deploying our staff to the different states in India to conduct more trainings. So the frequency of trainings has been increased. All right, and that allows us to actually get into the ground and find out what issues could be taking place in certain states, and we address it there and then. So I think this proactive approach is definitely one of the biggest learning lessons we've had, and we're taking a much more aggressive step in this direction. In a country like India, with this concept of running your own business and selling great products and services on your own time, I think the incredible amount of potential that we have in that market, and also the types of distributors that we have in that market, I think that there's just so much potential for much more business growth in India.
It is evident that Qnet's strength primarily lies in their global distributors. But it isn't an easy task for them. While climbing up the ladder of success, they have not only faced the backlash of these fraud allegations, but have defended the company's name during their ride to success.
It is not a perception that it is illegal or a scam or a fraud. That's not something which is that much of an issue. But I'll tell you where it starts. It starts from people thinking it is a get-rich-quick scheme. It starts from people thinking that they will become a part of it and they will be a millionaire. Because they see people becoming millionaires or people making money in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years time, and they're changing their life. The cars are changing. They're living a different life, and they have this perception that this is a get-rich-quick scheme. So what happens is they come in the business. They come in the business thinking that now I'm a part of it and I'll be a millionaire. But what they don't know or what they don't realize is the hard work that goes behind achieving all this, right? And they're not prepared for the hard work. And since they're not prepared for the hard work, and when they're not able to achieve what they really want to in this industry, is when the negativity starts.
There are people who say wrong about company, and there are people who can swear by the company actually, right? Okay, based on the experiences. So some people who feel their experiences were bad, they basically, their opinion is that is a scam, but I don't understand how it is a scam, because if they see as a neutral person, you buy a product, you get an opportunity to refer the product, whether you do it or not, you pay and get a product. Where is the scam?
We are working hard. Each one of us go on the ground, show 9 to 10 presentations every day, try to make sure that we explain about everything. And due to the challenges, today, if you look at the network, we are doing extra, which is not even required legally. But after 10 days, if it can still go write a blog or do anything, it maybe impacts us a little bit emotionally. It impacts the business also to a great extent. But now I think we have become so used to it, doesn't matter at all, because truth will always be truth.
It hurt us, the image issue that time, okay, negative media, and there's whole lot of people who had nothing to do except sniping, and then there was a lot of negative publicity, but we were not hassled because of that.
The reputation is about the way you look at it. If you want to look at it in a particular way, then that is all that you are going to look at it. People are not ready to accept the fact that there is a better option. They don't want to try something new.
charges of illegal activities? Well, there is more to worry about. To run a business in any country, businesses need to have clarity on regulations and a business model that can earn people's trust. In the case of Qnet, distributors claimed that blurry regulations in India and a perception of the Ponzi or an investment scheme jeopardized their business.
Direct selling in general, there's some kind of stigma or dogma that's attached to it, okay? Why is that? Because it's a misunderstood industry, that is number one. Number two, the fact of the matter is that we've had no real regulation till now. So of course there's misrepresentation that happens. But when that gets highlighted, it doesn't change the fact that the industry still does a lot of good. So you have the bad apples that basically spoil the barrel. And that's basically what Qnet has as well. And that is pretty much what we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
I think it's an industry issue actually. It is not just Qnet. If you see in this industry, which is called network marketing or direct sales industry, the biggest issue is most of the countries, there is no regulation for this industry. And when there is no regulation, people do the same business in a different way. So it is not the company, it is not the industry which is having a problem. There are few certain people actually who do it in a wrong way, and because of which the reputation gets spoiled everywhere.
Because it's word of mouth, a lot of people say, oh, I've never heard of this, and does it really work and all that. Another problem was that a mistaken analogy with a money chain scheme, wherein people are trying to get rich quick, and that's where I did my homework first, because I also had all this virus in my head, I had to clear them before I jump into it, because I'm risking my reputation by talking to my friends and family. I was very clear in my mind, very, very clear. It's very ethical. It's a product business. Unless the product is sold, a company cannot share the profit. Either the company will share the profits with the traditional channels of a distributor, a supermarket, or so on and so forth, or it could share with people who are referring and creating the, the word of mouth awareness for the product.
Company's role is just to give a product and take money, and as per refund policy, if people want, give a refund, right? So company is not doing any scam, okay? Neither the industry is wrong, but because there are people, because the plus point of the industry is anybody can come in the business, right? So there are people who come with a short-term behavior and they don't learn things properly, and in a hurry to make money, they end up committing wrong things actually, right? And because of which people get wrong experiences, bad experiences, and that's why exactly the reputation gets spoiled. So it is not the company, it is people.
We had to deal with this negative publicity, okay? But when people saw our belief, our passion, we are not scared, we are not going away, we are proud of our association with Qnet, okay? Then we said this is misinformation. Also, the laws of the country are not updated, right? It is not a scam, it is not a money chain scheme, it's a product company. If you sign up 50 people, okay? That's a good number. But if none of them buy a product, Qnet will not pay you anything. But if these 50 people buy a product, either from a store or from Qnet, Qnet has to share profits with somebody. It's sharing with you.
I love what I do. Now I don't do Qnet because I have to do it, but I totally believe in it. And I really feel that Qnet has changed my life, and it can change many more lives if they are ready to put in hard work.
I can say with conviction, after having spent about 7 years in Qnet, that Qnet does not involve in any malpractices or any illegal kind of activities. It is quite clear, and after 16 years in corporate, having worked, I think my parents expected only one thing from me, is to ensure that I don't put their name to shame. And I believe me being a part of Qnet is, for the last 7 years is an example of that, or probably a justification for that.
We're a young, dynamic company, and if you look at the way in which business is being dealt with in today's context, it all gives you an overview of how business is an aggressive issue. And direct selling is no different, yeah? But the critical differentiation is that in direct selling, you ought to do things properly. What does doing things properly mean? It doesn't mean that you ride roughshod over your customers or over your potential customers. I think there is a duty imposed on each of our distributors to act properly. And I think that's something which we will work, and we will continue to work very hard on educating them to do.
Well, the time has come to end this episode, but for Qnet, will the challenges come to an end? We leave that to time and law to decide. Meanwhile, Qnet hopes that the Supreme Court judgment will make the regulatory environment conducive for businesses to thrive, which have the potential to create a socio-economic impact on our society. As per the new tri-tariff order, you now have the power to choose and pay only for the channels you love. To keep watching your favorite shows on Times Now, call your cable or DTH operator and get the Times movies and news pack now.
The showstoppers, the jaw droppers, the movers and shakers.
These are some of the hard facts.
The power players, all the blockbusters, all the hard hitters in one power punch.
That's awesome.
Complete your TV viewing experience with the best of Hollywood entertainment and news. Get the Times movies and news pack at just 13 rupees. Ask your cable or DTH provider now.